Putting the lap together when it counts in qualifying to set up your weekend.
Yeah, well, as you said, we had that mid-season test here on the 13th and 14th of April. Gabriele Mini was the fastest driver. He did a 126.319 for the Hi-Tech team. He, of course, coming off the back of that win from pole position at Monaco. Taylor Barnard was in second. And Billy, he, for me, a driver that really is starting to find his feet, isn't he? He's so far the top-ranked driver who has stepped up straight from Formula 4. Very impressive at Monaco, and given the result he had in that mid-season test, he'll be quite confident coming into this.
Yeah, Taylor Barnard is a driver who, when I did a bit of driver coaching in go-kart, of British level go-karting, and he's really excelled. And like you said, Chris, obviously stepping into Formula 3 for this season, it's a big step up. Drivers on the grid, the best tracks around the world, Formula 1 weekends, the big bosses, you know, keeping an eye on your progress. It really can throw some drivers off, but he is starting to really build some momentum in his season now.
And I think particularly with Australia and Monaco, the crowds we had at Australia, the atmosphere of Monaco is something so unique. I don't think it really is something you can prepare yourself for. Just going through the rest of that top 10 from Barcelona, this the combined result from the 2 days. It was Mini from Barnard. They were only split by 7/100ths of a second. Then we had Gregoire Saucy, who's going along very well so far, and he has a good track record at this circuit as well. Paul Aron fourth, Pepe Marti, then Christian Mansell, Mari Boya, one of the home heroes. Then we had Nicolas Solov, Sebastian Montoya, Franco Colapinto. There, Dino Beganovic, a very good performance, Billy. At the end over his team radio, we have arrived, and I think that was a sign of him saying, I'm going to go for the win next time out.
Yeah, I mean, delivering a result like that in Monaco is obviously a great confidence booster, so that's only going to breed confidence into him as a driver. And coming into this weekend where I expect the margins will be a lot smaller between the drivers, it's going to be really important for him to use that confidence in the right way.
And I know you've been keeping a very close eye on Formula 3, as you always do. Whoa, Roberto Faria, big swapper coming through turn number 4 now. But what have you made of the season so far? Have you been impressed with the standard of racing we've had? Because it's been very close.
Yeah, it's been qualifying laps. I think the driver that Gabriele Mini, I mean, on a Saturday, or, you know, when it comes down to qualifying sessions, obviously in Formula 3, in particular, that really stood out for me. And I think, you know, he's quick around this place too, because in the mid-season test, he topped the timesheet. So I think he's going to be one.
Billy, of course, we're a different last.
Super high speed and committed these last 2 corners. I'm interested to see what it does in terms of the slipstreaming down the main straight, because what we used to have make up some ground on other drivers when you can hang on to the back of the driver in front. You're going to have slightly longer to gain some advantage.
And this
to that, to be fair, because that was a big snap, as you said, Chris.
Yeah, Roberto Faria, a personal best result of 18th so far with the PHM Racing by Charouz team, a new team for this year. Here we can see Ollie Goethe now on screen, currently sitting 11th in the championship. Race up. At the final 2 corners, elevation.
A bit of camber involved into it. I think it's going to be quite important early on to just build rest, because the rest of the circuit is completely unchanged. So it's just about building confidence, not doing anything too silly. But I'm sure by the time we get to qualifying later in the day, the drivers will know what the limit is through there.
And in that two-day test that we had, I guess we would have had drivers going for those qualifying runs, rehearsing those qualifying runs, rehearsing those race runs as well, because tyres will be going off, and as they do, managing this hard
around here in Barcelona, it's always a factor, and sliding like this, that won't be ideal for the tyres. You know, you need to be really smooth on the steering, you know, limit any wheel spin you put through the tyres themselves, and just really micromanage that. It's something that plays a key factor in the race here.
Good to see fans at the circuit nice and early, getting ready to watch these Formula 3 cars go around. So far, Roberto Faria is stealing the show, really. Most drivers in no rush to get out at all, but plenty of fans here enjoying the conditions. Lovely weather over in Barcelona, as we see all the fans getting ready to enjoy what should be a fantastic day. We do go qualifying later at 3 p.m. local time, 30 minutes of qualifying, but would it be that two-day test that has left drivers in no rush to get out there, do you think, Billy?
I think there's an element of that, and also there's an element of, you know, like I said, the track, you know, being the first session on the track, there's no rubber laid down, so they know that the times are going to be much faster and more relevant at the end of the session. So no one wants to be the person using up their tyre life when the track is at its greenest. But equally, if no one goes out, the track's still going to be in the same condition in 10 minutes time when they start doing runs. So it's a bit of a weird situation we have right now.
Yeah, it's who's going to blink first, isn't it? It's like a qualifying session in karting, really, when no one wants to be the first driver to get out there. And I know you know all about that from when you raced in the British Championships yourself, Billy. Well, we have been speaking to a lot of drivers, one of those being Leo Fornaroli. He's in his first season. He was on the podium at Monaco last time out. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm getting more confident with the car race after race. I mean, with Bahrain, we show a strong pace in quali, but had some difficulties in the race with tire management. But then after Bahrain, I work really hard to improve on, especially on the race pace. And I mean, in Monaco and Melbourne, we had really good pace, so I'm very happy of that.
Good to hear from Leo Fornaroli, the reigning rookie champion in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, was a vice champion in Italian F4 as well. So good to see him getting up to speed very, very quickly. There we can see Paul Aron now jumping in his car, a driver we have seen on the podium a couple of times this season, including last time out in Monaco. That leaves him 5th in the championship so far, the Mercedes Junior. And we've got a lot of F1 juniors on this grid, haven't we? 10 in total, Billy. So as well as having the general paddock on them, those F1 juniors, like Nicolas Solov as well, an Alpine junior, will want to impress the big names in those teams.
Yeah, that's what's so great about this Formula 3 Championship. We have 30 drivers on the grid, and almost a third of them are being looked at by teams. The drivers making the difference, standing out. I remember, you know, other drivers on the way up to Formula 1, the likes of a George Russell winning this championship a few years ago, and how that leapfrogged him into the big time, you know, following that up with a Formula 2 championship. So it really can be a springboard for a young driver's career, this championship.
Yeah, just like Sophia Flörsch as well. She is part of the Alpine junior team. We also had Zach O'Sullivan there, one of the Williams Academy drivers, 4 of those on this grid. But 10 drivers overall. We've got the likes of Mercedes Junior, Ferrari Junior, Red Bull Junior, Alpine Juniors and Williams Juniors as well. So 5 F1 teams with junior drivers racing in this championship. There we see Roberto Faria still pedaling around on his own. Clearly, Billy, he has a different strategy to the rest, but looks like we're getting a little bit closer now, I'd say, to drivers going out on circuit.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, Roberto Faria is just making the most of some clear track. At the minute, he's cruising around, so I'm imagining he's trying to look after those tyres, get a couple of laps in the bag where he can, but yeah, I expect that we'll see the full grid to sort of come out of the pit lane very soon, and then we'll see some consistent running out there.
And you know, I'm sure some people thinking, why are they waiting? But this is something I'd say as a driver, you'll know this in meetings that they've had last night and this morning. This is something that's going to be all part of the plan, and they'll have a clear strategy, I imagine, of exactly what they want to do when they get out there, how many laps they want to put in.
Yeah, the way that the FIA F3 teams approach a weekend is the same as the Formula One teams. You know, each practice session, there's different outcomes that you want to get from that session. And for these drivers, it's really important of just finding the track in its best condition, where you can get a closest simulation to qualifying later in the day as possible. Because again, that's a really important session in FIA F3 with 30 drivers on the grid.
Here we see Roberto Faria making his way down towards turn number 1. And this, Billy, sections of the circuit as we come out of turn 2 here that really do cause tyre degradation, don't they?
Yeah, particularly coming into turn 3 here. It's super hard on the tyres, you know, you're really loading that rear left tyre. You can see a bit of oversteer creeping into Roberto Faria's car as he went through turn 3 there. So now he then goes into another right-hander at turn 4, where we saw him have the big snap. So you're really asking a lot from that particular tyre, and then you get a couple of left-handers to give you a bit of a breather.
Yeah, Mari Boyer in an interview with the Formula 3 team before the race, he said, you know, he loves those long sweeping corners and the fact that you do have to save the tyres. As a driver, Billy, was this a track you enjoyed racing?
Yeah, I really like this circuit. It demands a lot from you. It's a circuit where you almost have to, you know, look after the tyres in the first sector whilst being committed and on the limit, knowing that that last sector that we used to have really used to ask a lot from the rears in particular in the traction zones. Obviously that's changed now with the new layout, so I'm actually interested to see whether that allows drivers to attack the first half of the lap more, knowing that the high-speed couple of right-handers we've got now to finish the lap won't take so much from the rear tyre.
Now let's watch him through the last corner. There you can see the DRS detection zone, and there is where they'll open that DRS as Roberto Faria does. So this is going to be DRS zone number 2. The first zone will be between turns 9 and 10 as they make the run. 2019, won none other than Rob Schwartzman, and the first race from GP3 as well, all the way back in 2010. So it has a rich history with this championship. And Billy, every single year we've come here, the eventual champion has won at this circuit. The likes of Schwartzman, Piastri, Dennis Hauger, and last year Victor Martins won in the feature race. I don't see that as a coincidence. I think this is definitely a challenging circuit, isn't it?
It's a proving ground. It's got a mixture of different corners. Degradation and managing that is an important factor in FIA F3, and that really comes into play here. So yeah, for sure, Chris, this is a circuit which will, you know, it will separate the very best from the good. And I think that's what we're going to see again this weekend. I expect whoever is up the front, in particular this weekend, will shine for the rest of the season.
Yeah. We can see that's a nice shot. That's the first DRS detection zone as we come over the hill. Yeah, you've got to be very careful of track limits through there. And after this, Billy, we do go into a bit of a break for Formula 3. Of course, back-to-back races now, but a month off before we then go to the Red Bull Ring. As a driver, Billy, I mean, I imagine more than ever, this is where you'll want to get a good result. Going into that break, you won't want a bad result on your mind or a bad weekend on your mind. Would you say this is definitely one they want to leave on a high to go into the second half of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think anyone that had a bad weekend, in particular in Monaco, will be super glad that this weekend has arrived so quickly. Yeah. These back-to-back races and coming here at a circuit they all know, that will be super important to get that momentum back. And like you say, with a longer break, it's even more important for the driver's mentality to, you know, finish this first part of the season as such in a good place mentally, knowing that they go into the break, they can reset physically, mentally, and prepare themselves for the back end of the season, knowing that how they finished this first part, if they finish strong, they can build on that.
Yeah, and there we see Sebastian Montoya. He's definitely someone who will want to get a good result after a disappointing end to his weekend. His father, Juan Pablo, a man who stood on the podium here twice back in the early 2000s. But Sebastian Montoya, he'll be very disappointed with that feature race that he had, going for a move up Beau Rivage that ended up in him having to make a pit stop. No scheduled pit stops in Formula 3. Damage to his front wing brought him in, so he was eventually disqualified from the race. Not for that instant though, but Sebastian Montoya after that will want to come here now and bounce back, like you said. With the race coming so quick, he'll definitely be happy at it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unfortunate situation with the contact that, you know, ended his race at Beau Rivage. I mean, Monaco is a place where it's risk versus reward. He was trying to make a pass. The risk didn't pay off that time, but, you know, around this circuit, the risks are going to be still there again. So as a driver, you still can't back off too much. You still got to be able to take those risks, push the limits in order to put himself up at the sharp end. Because if you ease off in a championship like Formula 3, you're looking at being outside the top 15, top 20.
Yeah, he was disqualified for a tyre being placed on the wrong side of the car as he came in to do his pit stop. So not for that instant, but it also was unfortunately seeing Caio Collet picking up a puncture. He went straight on as well and had to retire from the race. Well, there we can see the circuit. Drivers are making their way out. One of those will be Paul Aron. He is sitting 5th in the championship so far. Let's hear what he had to say about his season so far.
Yeah, I think ever since the beginning of the season, both me and the team have been improving step by step. We have been realizing what works with the car, both for me and generally for performance. And I think we have also seen it from the results. Ever since Bahrain, we have been getting better and better. And I mean, this championship is all about consistency. So if we are not feeling 100% confident, the goal is to bring home as many points as possible and not try to go for a podium or a pole position that doesn't exist. So as I said, we've been getting more and more confident, gaining more and more knowledge about the car, and I think we can arrive here to Barcelona feeling more confident than ever.
Paul Aron, although a rookie, one of many drivers who has raced here before, and of course Prema Racing, 3 times champions in FIA Formula 3. It seems they are growing in. They brought 2 rookies into the championship, as well as a driver switching over from Ronan Carlin in Zach O'Sullivan, and it seems they are slowly starting to become the Prema that we really know in this championship.
Yeah, as a team, they've really dominated this championship since its introduction, and these particular new cars that we've had for a few years now, they've really got on top of them quick. But yeah, the 2 new rookie drivers, obviously are now off the back of Monaco. You would say, are they really rookies? Because they seem to be coming into their own. You know, finishing 2 of them on the podium in Monaco says a lot about the experience and the confidence they've got right now.
Yeah, look, Dino there, having a watch and wanting to have a listen in, perhaps. So I think that's a cue to start talking about Dino Beganovic. Is it 4th in the championship for him so far? Great result last time out, as we mentioned, part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. And they are leaving it quite late here, aren't they? Here we see Faria now. He has decided that enough for that run is enough. And so far, he is the only driver that has put a lap in, and that is a best lap of 1 minute 33.026. Are we seeing a rehearsal to qualifying here, do you think, with the amount of time they are waiting, or is it simply due to track conditions?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's track conditions, and I think it's as well, this circuit is renowned for chewing up tyres, you know, tyre degradation being so high. So I think the drivers and the teams are probably aware that they want to, you know, manage the sets they've got for this weekend in the right way to excel in qualifying, and also to give themselves the freshest tyres possible for the race, because the races, that will be important too.
Yep, there we see Juan Pablo has stood on the podium himself here a couple of times. Will we see Sebastian Montoya repeat that success? He is getting ready, the Red Bull Junior. has had a bit of an up and down season so far. Gabriele Mini is in his car now, is waiting. Two-time pole sitter so far this season, has really excelled in qualifying and bounced back very well, I have to say as well, Billy, from what was in the end a disappointing round one. He poled it, stalled in the sprint race, then got that 5-second penalty in the feature, but he's not let that bother him at all, has he? He's bounced back really quickly.
Yeah, I think Monaco was a really important weekend for him because it's well and good having pace, but if you can't, you know, turn that into points in this championship, that means you're going to be nowhere. So I think having such a strong weekend in Monaco, you know, delivering that sensational pole lap by such a margin over the rest of the field, and then following that up with a nice, confident race victory, that's going to, you know, really help his confidence and make him realise that, you know, the points are the main prize, I think.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Apologies for not being with you for the first 20 minutes of this session. A major technical error in the commentary box prevented all of us from being here with you as well. Synthol, Josh and Omi have been waiting. Synthol's up in the commentary box with me, Josh and Omi in the pits. They've been waiting around, but a massive failure up here with connectivity issues as well, but it doesn't think we've missed much, Synthol, because only 10 drivers have set representative times and really only one on the board of a 1:33.026 or Roberto Ferrer. Cars heading out on the track now, and this is really where we're going to see it. Good morning, Synth.
Yeah, good morning. Well, it looked like practice has just started because they're actually in the pit lane now, so that's good timing, luckily.
Yeah.
We didn't miss too much, so, well, let's see what this Formula 3 practice will bring now.
There's a lot coming into this weekend, isn't there? After an average weekend in Monaco, and now we're getting ready here. Formula 3 should be better racing now with the new, no longer having the last chicane. It's going to be much more full throttle for these drivers. I hope you're going to enjoy the race. I won't be there for the race. I'm just your practice and commentator for qualifying. Jess and you are covering the sprint and feature because I'm off in Formula E. So what are you mainly looking forward to ahead of this weekend?
Yeah, well, in the past we've seen some great races around this track, as we see some wheel spin from Battery in there. So, was it smoke from the back of his car?
It's
not sure.
smoke. Yeah, smoke from the back of the car. Wow, that's new. Go on.
Yeah, well, we've seen some great races. I think last year or 2 years ago that we had some battles for the lead, and then 3 times the top 2 battle for the lead crashes. So I think this is a good track for Formula 3, and yeah, with that newly that final chicane now gone, with that penultimate really full throttle corner, I think we can see a lot more this year.
Let's get thoughts. Omi, what did you welcome into you in the pit lane? Hope you're there ready. What do you make of Monaco and now coming into Spain as well? He's probably not there. I'll probably throw into him and he's like, what?
Is it me?
Yes, it's you. Hello.
It basically it cut out for me. The name bar. So yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Formula 3 this week. We've had some great races around here in the previous years, including obviously the leaders crashing in 2021. But so I think it's going to be hopefully some good 2 races this year, and with the final chicane gone, I think it's going to be really good because you get much more of a slipstream and your foot to the floor basically all the way down towards turn 1. So it's going to be very exciting to see some moves happening down there, and I think it's going to be a great week of Formula 3.
Josh is here as well. He's leading our British touring car qualifying coverage tomorrow with yourself, Omi, as well. And then Jess is in the box ready for race 2, leading that with Josh in the expert role. Hello, Josh. What are you looking forward to ahead of this weekend? I personally want it to be over because Sunday is 2 a.m. until 11 p.m. It's a nightmare.
It really is, and I've done some maths. Do you want to know how crazy this weekend is?
Go on. I do actually, because it's bugging. I've been stressing like mad. Go on.
So this is from the first session in the morning start time to the last session in the evening / night end time.
Yeah.
So today is a 12 hour and 40 minutes.
Right.
Saturday is 18 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes. Sunday?
And Sunday, 20 hours and 50 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
And that is in between Friday and Saturday, around a 4-hour sleep, and between Saturday and Sunday, around 6 hours sleep.
Okay, so I'm gonna be better on Sunday then if it's a 6-hour sleep. Friday to Saturday's bad because of practice for IndyCar, isn't it? Do you know?
Yeah.
I know we're not commentating on it, but if I ask really nicely, I think Megan might just press the record button press the live stream buttons for me, and I can go to bed early. Oh God, honestly, guys, when I say I've been stressing, when we weren't on air and the commentary box failed, I was literally almost having a panic attack. No joke. I was literally like stressing, and I have been stressing like mad. The Monaco review still isn't up because I just have no time to edit that. So that'll be up at some point this weekend. I don't really care anymore. Honestly, I just want this weekend to be over. And Le Mans is next week. Le Mans next week is more simple than this weekend. That is the God's honest truth. Next weekend is so easy compared to this weekend because we've got, throughout the week, we've got all the Le Mans build-up with all the practice sessions. Then we've just got a 24-hour race to commentate on. That's easy. That's easy for us. We've got MotoGP in between, but that's very nice because it's bookended quite nicely that it doesn't affect anything. It only affects 45 minutes on Sunday, to which I'll be in the commentary box B for that one, and Megan will be taking the Le Mans coverage in here with your good selves on the commentary as well, hopefully, fingers crossed, when that goes down. So, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this weekend is just a nightmare. We've got Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula E, British Touring Car Championship, and IndyCar. 6 series we've got to cover. And no printer for notes either. My friend is having to print out my notes for me at his gym. That's how bad this weekend is. First time's coming on the board then. It's Browning 130.1 as well, but then Montoya 129.241. For some reason, once again, our timings and TVs are 10 seconds apart. That's how it always is. So Montoya's saucy. Let's have a replay of Gabriel Mini, feature race winner from Monaco into turn 11 and 12 cents. There's a ton of traffic now, this new last corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic. This is right before the full. I don't think it's full throttle in Formula 3. I'm pretty sure it's not full throttle, but
yeah, they lifted it.
It's going to be a question if it's going to be full throttle in Formula 1. I wonder if it is.
I tried it yesterday on R Factor on 2008 because I downloaded R Factor again, so I'm loving it with my computer. Tried it in 2008 car on the old layout, and you can't do it flat. You have to lift off. I know since you did our lap attack this weekend, so how could you do it in an F1 car?
Well, it was flat pretty easily, so I'm not sure if they've maybe sharpened the corner a little bit more. I'm not sure if the angle is the same as it was in the game, but it should be flat. At least the penultimate corner should be. I think the final corner should not be flat out. Maybe a little lift off, or maybe braking a little bit. But well, I think it will be flat out in qualifying, but maybe in the race, the penultimate corner, they have to take it a little bit more easy.
So just taking a look into all this weekend as well. Jess joins us for qualifying this afternoon as well, alongside myself and Synthel. And then Jess and Synth take the commentary for the sprint and the feature. I'll put us all in a group chat later. We can decide who's doing what, where and when. Because there's 2 races, so one of you can do the start on one and finish, and then swap it around as well, if that's all good. Just trying to get my notes up on my iPad at the moment, and this is why I don't use an iPad, because it is the failure of all technology as well, is the fact that you can't actually get anything operational on them as well. It's such a useless piece of tech, honestly. Turn 12, it's involving Gabriel Miniaron and the 18 as well. It's going to be investigated after the session for impeding. That's probably the right decision as well. 13 minutes to go. So yeah, I've got to say thank you as well to Josh for taking the British Touring Car Quali, and to Jess for taking race 2 of the touring cars with Josh, and also the F3 streaming as well, while we go off to Formula E, which has just gone underway, I believe. So I'm going to have to step out to make sure that's okay. And I'll just leave a quick given an interview that's happening at the moment on the screen.
Around here really isn't a possibility, so you know you can go for that first push lap, but you're going to have to back off and go nice and slow to bring the tyre temperature down to get it back into a window where you can still get performance out of it.
So it's just a routine that they'll go through, then get a push lap in, back off, and then go for another one. Is that what we're going to see in qualifying?
Yeah, in qualifying, obviously you've got more sets of tyres to play with, so there might be, you know, less laps in general on the same set, and then they might come in, pit, put another set on.
Yeah, well, we will find out when we get to qualifying, but Pepe Marti, here we see, and look, there we can see Pepe Marti once again being held up by traffic. Well, Pepe Marti, he took a win back at Monaco. Here's what he had to say about it.
It's such a special feeling. I can't really put into words what it means to win at Monaco. I think it's something that we all dream about when we're young, and to pull it off, or just to win at Monaco is such a special feeling.
I'm sure it really was a special feeling as we see him going across the line. He's building up for another lap, it seems, Billy, but certainly some of the others are pushing. One of those being the number 2 there of Dino Beganovic, who came flying down. Here comes Caio Collet as well in that Van Amersfoort car. He's going to push by. But here, our championship leader. We haven't seen much of him yet, Billy. He wasn't particularly quick in the combined result at testing, but he did top one of the sessions in a great position so far, and he's going very quick on this lap as well.
Yeah, first sector is purple, so this is a great start to lap for the championship leader. So I expect to see, you know, the time start to come down, but it seems like a promising start to the lap. Or just using a little bit of that sausage curve there, coming out the chicane, really pushing the limit, it looks like.
Oh.
And off goes the 31, spinning into the gravel trap. Yellow flags come out, seeing Wisnicki as well out there, and a little bit of an off spin as well further back.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the first red flag then. This is down in turn 9, which is one of the fastest corners around this circuit. So, well, we've seen some
Red
crashes
flag.
here before. Yeah, red flag is out. So that's going to be a high-speed spin down into turn 9.
Coming through camp.
Or Wisnicki.
Yeah. So the session's suspended. Cars will return to the pit lane. The clock will continue to tick down. So that could be Taylor Barnard going fastest overall in this session with a 128.831. Caio Collet second, Beganovic is third, Colapinto fourth, Aron fifth, Montoya sixth, Mansell seventh, O'Sullivan eighth, Forlaroli ninth, Saucy rounds out the top 10. I think he's damaged the suspension, so the gravel trap's done an incredible job there to keep that car
Front wing
stopped.
looks a bit off.
Let's take a look with Nicky then. Go on, Sid. Oh, he's just spun it.
He's not hit the wall. Wow, he's lost it very early on. Maybe he's touched a bit of grass on the entry. But yeah, he's just missed on the wall. I think he barely avoided that. Was just gonna catch the end of it, unfortunately. But I assume he maybe dipped the wheel into the grass a little bit on the entry, or yeah, something else happened which caused him to lose the rear end very early on in the corner already.
It's incredibly uphill, that part of the track as well. He's surprised actually because 7 and 8 is so low down to the ground, then it rises uphill dramatically. You see the bigger hill where the fans are standing from there. That's where I saw Kvyat crash. Turn 9, it gradually becomes uphill, so it's easy to lose the rear at Kampsa. As the red flag is out there, the cars will form back into the pit lane. Oh, I can see my commentary box from where I was before in 2019. Need to get back to one of these circuits as well. Last one I was at was Snetterton as well. I need to get out there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be something appearing later on this year. It should have been Portland, but the accreditation never came through in time, sadly. As they come in, and neither did the funding, to be fair, for the money. So, fingers crossed, the situation will be resolved shortly, and we'll get at least 5 minutes of running. Red flag has been brought out now. Nice to hear as well the commentary box filling in with, it looks to be this weekend Billy Monger, who is back in the box as well. And I think Billy's at Biggin Hill. I don't know where everybody else is. I know that Harry Benjamin's trackside for BBC Radio 5 Live. He's come through. He's also been doing some stuff for WTF1 as well. Gabriel Bortoleto swings it into the last corners, into the pit lane. I hope we get the classic shot that we had in the, just to go on classic shots again, but it feels like we've got the original circuit back now here. Nothing is added with chicanes. Yes, we had the exit camps used to go straight on into a little chicane area as well on the back straightaway, but no driver like that. This is what everyone refers to as the classic Barcelona. It's also now completely identical to the MotoGP layout, which means we can have a direct comparison between the two. And this is also where we are believed to be holding the double of MotoGP and Formula One, the 2-weekend double up. It's here and Austin, which I believe are the two locations, because they're the only two venues on the calendar that use exactly the same layout, because even at Silverstone they use a different entry into the Hangers Straight compared to Formula One. So as the car's craned off behind the barrier, that's a new one, they don't usually do that. We'll get about, I think, 5 minutes
This
ago.
isn't Monaco, is it?
No, car's up in the air. Right, let's take a look at it. And we're going to see him spinning into shot. Outside Tigane.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he nearly lost it.
Yeah, maybe just a bit offline. You can see how dusty it is over there. Did he take the other, the other layout? Going straight on there.
I think so. Yeah, he did. The original layout that I was talking about earlier on in this session. Session will resume at 10:34. So that's in 38 seconds. We'll get a
And of
restart.
course, after this is turn 10, which has been modified as well since last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but yeah, it was of course a lot sharper and slower corner in the past. Now they've got I think because of MotoGP as well, they've changed a little bit.
That new turn 10 that was here a couple of years ago as well, more like the original circuit, just tightened in. So yeah, just been told that instead of one, they've had, oh, hang on, we've lost our TV pictures. Oh, that is just marvellous, isn't it? Okay. So something's failed again up here in the commentary box, which is always, yep, it's failed. Right, we're going to pass over to the world feed while we try and get this failure fixed.
Trickier.
Kai Collett going well so far.
We've had a complete failure now up here in the box. Nothing is working. So that's even fantastic to try and get this all sorted.
Unfortunately, taken away when he had that incident with Sebastian Montoya. The incident involving Mini, Aaron and Villa Gomez will be investigated after the session, so we will keep you posted when we get back to qualifying if anything has happened there. But here we go, plenty of cars coming out now. But I guess, Billy, you talked about mindset. If you have a good practice, you just feel a little bit more confident going into qualifying. Would you say that was that's been the case in your experience?
Yeah, of course, that always helps, I think. It always helps having a good, strong practice session under your belt, knowing that, like I say, it's all right having the prep approach with the car set up, so it of course it breeds confidence into the driver, which is important.
And I guess you want some laps for when you debrief from this session, just to compare with you.
Data and be able to tell whether you're approaching one corner in the wrong way and what you're doing on a quick lap compared to someone else. You can learn a lot from looking at that data, so at least getting one quick lap in will be important for all the drivers out there.
Yeah, I mean we had that 2 days of testing, but the track could have been completely different to this, and maybe that was something that caught Piotr Witsnicki out.
Yeah, of course, that's a factor. You know, the wing conditions can be different. Qualifying. What happened here, you know, a few weeks ago where the test was, it's not really relevant now.
Yeah, now we go on board with Gabriele Mini. He is building up now through turn number 14. He comes and on to the start-finish straight. I think we're going to get a push lap. Billy, let's go back to you.
So push lap is enabled as they come through the back half down towards turn number 1 then. light to the brakes. New gravel trap here at Turn 1, as we were mentioning earlier on as well, to better protect the MotoGP riders as well. And it just looked great now, the circuit. I mean, it was great when I saw it in 2019, but they've really put in the safer effect here as well. New at Turn 4. I think since as well, it's actually now a very fast and abrasive circuit across all classes.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great circuit, and it can be used for indeed most series now. So that's great, and let's hope that it will pay off with some good racing as well. As I'm pretty sure with Formula 3 and Formula 2 get some great racing. Formula 1, you never know, but I think with that change chicane, I think we can actually get a good race, and there's a chance of rain as well, of course, for this weekend.
Yep, just to add more insult to injury about how busy we're going to be. It looks to be a wet race on Saturday and Sunday for Formula 3 as well, and also for Formula 2 and Formula 1 across the whole day. Very rare you get rain in Barcelona. So, in fact, when I was there in 2019, we were told dress warm. It'll be cold and snowy. It was a heat wave, and the hottest it's been in February for 15 years in Barcelona as well. We were there end of February, early March, and it was definitely a lot worse. His Gabriel Menez is a 1:30.106, so not up there as well from what he needs to be. 16th place at the top with 2 minutes to go in the session. Hugh Barta goes to 12th as we go there for 14th for Jose Maria Marti as well. So I think everyone's just going to be relaxing now, I think. So it's getting the qualifying bonanza laps in, and then later it's going to be fantastically fun to see these guys push out there on the circuit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they've lost quite a lot of time because they, for some reason, stayed in the pit lane for a long time, and then when they all got out, there was a red flag. So they're going to be pushing really much. You see Paul Aaron having a little snap of oversteer then, as we see now going through this final corner, which is a lot more difficult now, of course. We're coming at it with a lot more speed now, because you don't have to lose a lot of speed with that final chicane. So that's going to be more interesting as well, the final corner, because last years it's been easy flat after the chicane, so they're not really checking for track limits or able to really go into the gravel on the exit, but now they could be if they take a little bit too much risk.
We have got the classic camera, so F1 knows how to treat us. The classic camera on the formation lap used to be that Tele Barcelona used to cut to the cars coming over the little crest at the last corner in that long sweeper with the fans in the background. We've got that exact camera angle back as well, so just the little things that always go there. I always enjoy the fact that the first race we've got recorded before we went back and got them all now in the modern age of downloads and everything. The first race that was ever saved and recorded for me was the 2001 Spanish Grand Prix, and the first F1 event I got to was the Spanish Grand Prix testing as well in 2019, so it's always a nice little thing. So many people don't like this track. I love it. I love Barcelona so much. It's a great venue, and it's a great place to go as well. I wish they would hold pre-season testing here instead in Bahrain as well. As the checker flag is out, Montoya 6th after his black flag he got in the Grand Prix at Monaco. You might have heard Chris mention that earlier on in the commentary on the World Feed. As they swing back through. What time is F2's practice? Is it 10:55 or is it 10?
10, it ends at 10:55.
Thank you. So that means we've only got 20 minutes to the next session. So fingers crossed everything holds up for that. I might have a muffin.
You asked that as soon as I opened the schedule to have a look.
Nice, brilliant. I was wondering how you did it so quickly. But yeah, Gabriel Mini up there then. I just want this weekend to be over with. I love this track, I love the racing, but honestly, I would rather this weekend be over with. And to be fair, I'd rather just get to Le Mans. Let's just do that. Although I've got no idea how my laptop is going to survive 24 hours non-stop use. This could be the death of the laptop. So, yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be okay. We're going to try and use as much internal stuff as we possibly can, taking it so that we're not going to overload it over the next 24 hours of Le Mans. Gabriel Mini into the last corner. I don't think I'll use it the day before on the Friday. I'll just shut it off completely. Gabriel Mini is a 1:29.887. Goes 16th fastest on the board. as everyone takes flags. Okay, so then since looking at that, who do you think will get pole position for the feature later?
Oh, that's it's Formula 3. It's so difficult to call, of course. It's gonna be very close, that's for sure. I think around this track. I mean, I feel like it's one who's gonna be able to set his lap the latest. But if I gotta pick someone, it may be. I'm gonna say Mini.
Good, sounds good. What about you, Josh?
Again, as Simple said, it's Formula 3. Anything can happen. But the top two is separated by 200ths of a second, 20 thousandths exactly. It could be those two, Carl Collette and Taylor Barnard.
Amy, what about you?
I'll go for Bortoletto.
Sounds good. I will go for Beganovic as way up. Caleb Frederick getting on the gravel at the exit of turn 13 before 14 at New Holland. So just a little bit wide there. So yeah, now then. By the way, just to update you on what we're doing with Formula E this weekend. Practice 1 will be broadcast in full, but that will be at 1:25 this morning, well, tomorrow morning. So 1:25 we go on air. We'll show all of Practice 1, and then we'll join up live on the same show for Practice 2 live, and then qualifying's live, the race is live, and then Sunday morning Practice 3 is live, qualifying live, and the race live again as well. But the problem is we couldn't do Practice 1 live because we're doing Formula 3. So that's how it all works out with that. And plus, it's Practice 1. Nothing ever happens in Practice 1 for Formula E. It's all just a bit quiet. So I thought, well, best is we'll do a double and get them as well for later, as we try and do as much live now as possible. MotoGP next weekend, all live as well. Because as I said, it's better that way than editing because of everything with the Le Mans 24 Hour, which will be live as well. I believe 4 parts to the Le Mans 24 Hour broadcast will be redirected to all of them as well after we finish, so that we can remove any music that might be in the background of things. Taylor Barnard is fastest in this session, followed by Kyle Collette, Dino Beganovic, Colapinto, Raul Montoya, Bortoletto, Mansell, O'Sullivan, follow only, Saucy, Goleth, Barter, Boyer, Marty, Mini, Edgar, Gray, Tusolo, Bedrin, Browning, Rafaela Villagomez as well. Scrolling further down on the timings, Caleb Frederick 23rd, Yanni 24th, Sophia Flores 25th, Wisnicki 26th and spinning out, Garcia, Smith, Cohen and Roberto Ferrer down in 30th position. So then, that's it then. This session will be live for F2 practice coming up shortly. For myself, Synthil, Josh and Amy in the pits, thanks for your company. We'll see you later for F3 qualifying. See you soon though for F2 practice. Bye bye.